Welcome back to the Investing Talk podcast, where we like to break down investment ideas, help you make sense of the market, all that good stuff.
Yeah, cut through the noise.
Exactly.
Yep.
Get to the heart of what matters.
What matters to your portfolio?
And today we're going to be focusing on a company that's been generating a lot of buzz.
A lot of buzz lately.
Clear as Secure.
Trading under the ticker symbol YOU.
YOU.
They are in the business of identity verification and security.
You've probably seen them at the airport.
Yeah, you see their kiosks at airports all over the place.
Well,
Basically, they're offering like a smoother, faster alternative to TSA PreCheck.
yeah.
And they're expanding into other venues as well, like stadiums, concert halls, things like that.
Seems like a pretty solid concept,
It is.
especially with security being, top of mind these days.
A hot topic.
But their recent performance is kind of a mixed bag.
Yeah, a little bit of a mixed bag.
It is a high growth sector, but
But there are some question marks.
yeah, so we're going to try to unpack all this today.
See if Clear Secure is a worthwhile investment.
Okay, so let's start with the value investing angle.
Okay.
We have a source here that breaks down the core principles of value investing.
Right.
Seeking intrinsic value, margin of safety, having a long-term perspective.
Contrarian thinking.
Embracing that contrarian thinking.
That good stuff.
Now, at first glance, some value investors might just dismiss Clear Secure
Yeah.
because their price-to-earnings ratio is pretty high compared to the market.
Relatively high, yes.
But their rapid growth and their dominant position in this very niche market could justify that higher valuation, right?
Could.
One of our sources argues that understanding the industry context is key.
Absolutely.
It's not just about the PE ratio.
No.
You got to consider the company's growth trajectory and their competitive landscape.
And in Clear Secure's case, you have a company operating in a rapidly expanding market.
Lots of potential.
Lots of potential.
So even though their PE ratio might raise some eyebrows,
Might scare some people off.
their high growth potential suggests they could be a good fit for a value investor.
With a long-term horizon.
Long-term horizon.
Exactly.
And don't forget, even with a high PE ratio,
Right.
they're not over-leveraged.
No, their debt-to-equity ratio is quite low.
Yeah,
Their balance sheet looks pretty healthy.
that's a good point. Now let's get into their recent performance.
All right.
Q3 2024 earnings missed EPS estimates by over 9%.
Ooh.
Not exactly what investors want to see.
But
But they did show significant year-over-year growth.
they did.
Right.
That is correct.
To put that into perspective,
Yeah.
we're in a bull market
We are.
fueled by post-election optimism, strong economic indicators.
Expectations are high.
So Clear Secure's miss
Right.
might not be as alarming as it seems.
Not as alarming as it first seems.
At first glance.
We got to consider the company's performance within the context of the overall market trends.
Broader market environment.
Exactly. And even though they missed EPS estimates,
Their revenue has been consistently beating expectations.
it has been
So that suggests that their business model is fundamentally sound,
fundamentally sound.
and they're continuing to grow.
They are growing that top line.
So we've got this mix of signals, right?
We do.
Missed EPS, target strong revenue growth, high PE ratio.
A little bit of everything.
That might scare off some value investors. What do the analysts have to say?
Well, as you might expect, analyst opinions are kind of all over the map.
Okay.
We have sources including MarketBeat and Benzinga
Yeah.
showing ratings ranging from hold to moderate buy.
No clear consensus.
No, not really a clear consensus.
They're just as unsure about Clear Secure as everyone else.
It seems that way.
What about price targets?
All right, so price
Is
targets.
this giving us any clearer indication?
Well, the average price target suggests a potential upside of 20 to 25% from the current price,
Okay.
but the range is pretty wide.
Okay.
From a low of $20 to a high of $45. So that tells me that there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding Clear Secure and their future prospects.
So how should investors interpret all this conflicting information?
That's the question, isn't it?
We've got mixed earnings results,
Yeah.
high PE ratio, and analysts who can't seem to agree on a buy, hold, or sell.
Yeah, what's the takeaway here?
What is the takeaway?
I think the key takeaway is that Clear Secure is a company at an inflection point.
Okay.
They have a lot of potential, but there are also some significant risks.
Okay.
Investors need to carefully weigh those risks and rewards before making a decision.
Sounds like we need to dig a little deeper into those risks and rewards to really understand what Clear Secure is all about.
We'll do just that.
We're in the middle of a fascinating discussion about Clear Secure, a company with a lot of potential, but also facing some challenges.
Yeah, walking that tightrope a little bit between growth stock, value stock.
So let's dive into some of the key factors that could determine their success in the long run. One of the things that stands out to me is their competitive advantage. What sets them apart in the crowded world of identity verification?
Well, I think their focus on biometrics and seamless user experience,
Okay.
that's a major differentiator. They're not just about security, they're about making the whole process fast and convenient for the user.
Yeah, I can definitely see the appeal of that. Think about how much time people waste standing in security lines at airports or stadiums.
Exactly.
If they can offer a genuinely faster, more pleasant experience,
Right.
people are going to be willing to pay for it.
Absolutely. And their success so far with their airport presence, I think, shows that there is a demand for this type of service.
Right.
But the big question is, how scalable is their model?
Yeah.
Can they replicate that success in other venues and markets?
That's a crucial point. Expanding beyond airports is key to their growth strategy.
Right.
But it's not going to be easy.
No, it's not going to be easy.
There are a lot of challenges involved in convincing new businesses and organizations to adopt their technology.
Yeah. For starters, they need to prove the value proposition to these potential clients.
Okay.
They have to convince them that their technology is worth the investment,
Right.
that it's actually going to enhance security,
Yep.
improve the customer experience.
And on top of that, they have to address any concerns about data privacy and security.
Huge issue these days.
Companies are understandably cautious about entrusting sensitive information to third-party providers.
Oh, absolutely. ClearSecure needs to be incredibly transparent about their data handling practices, demonstrate a strong commitment to protecting user privacy.
Yeah.
Any misstep in this area could really damage their reputation and hinder their growth.
So they're walking a tightrope between innovation and responsibility.
They are.
They need to push the boundaries with their technology, but also build trust and ensure they're operating ethically.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the competitive landscape.
Yeah.
ClearSecure is not the only player in this game.
Right.
They're up against some big names in the tech and security industries, companies with deep pockets and a lot of experience.
So it's not just about having a great product.
No.
It's about outmaneuvering the competition and constantly innovating to stay ahead of the curve.
Absolutely.
What are some of the specific risks they face from their competitors?
Well, one risk is that a larger tech company could just acquire one of their smaller competitors and quickly scale up a competing service.
Okay.
They also need to be wary of established players in the security industry who might decide to, enter the biometric identification market.
It sounds like ClearSecure needs to be agile and adaptable to thrive in this dynamic environment.
Very much so.
But going back to the value investing perspective, if they can successfully navigate these challenges and maintain their leadership position,
Right.
there's a lot of potential upside for investors, wouldn't you say?
I would agree. If they can execute on their expansion strategy, continue to grow their user base, ClearSecure could become a dominant force in this market.
Yeah.
And for investors who got in early, the returns could be significant.
But it's definitely not a risk-free investment.
Oh, no.
There are a lot of unknowns, and it's still early in their journey.
It is.
That's why it's so crucial for investors to do their own research and carefully assess their risk tolerance before investing in ClearSecure.
Couldn't agree more.
Don't just rely on what you hear on this podcast or from any single source.
Right.
Dig into the details, understand the company's business model, and consider their potential for both growth and disruption.
Well said.
Those are wise words. Speaking of disruption, let's talk about the bigger picture for a moment. What are some of the trends that are shaping the industry they operate in? What does the future hold for identity verification and security?
Let's discuss that.
We've been having a really interesting conversation about ClearSecure
We have.
and their position in this rapidly evolving market.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
It's clear they're not your typical company.
No.
And that's what makes them so fascinating from an investment perspective.
It really is.
They're kind of a hybrid, right?
Yeah.
Blending those elements of a growth stock with some of the characteristics of a value stock.
Exactly.
So let's zoom out as we wrap up this episode and talk about some of the broader trends
Okay.
that are shaping the industry that ClearSecure operates in. What's the big picture here?
I think one trend that's impossible to ignore is this increasing focus on security and identity verification
Right.
in our digital world.
Absolutely. That's a major driving force these days.
It is.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's a combination of factors. We've seen a rise in cybercrime.
Yeah.
Data breaches are becoming more common. And there's a growing awareness of the importance of data privacy.
Right.
And at the same time, we're relying more and more on digital transactions, online
Mhm.
interactions. So it makes sense that there's a need for more secure and efficient ways to manage identity.
It does, and that's where a company like ClearSecure comes in.
Right, right. They're offering a solution that addresses these concerns, and they're doing it in a way that's user-friendly and convenient.
So they seem well positioned to capitalize on this trend.
They do.
But like we discussed, they're not operating in a vacuum.
No.
What about the competition? How do they stack up against other players in this space?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
I mean, for any investor to consider.
Yeah.
And in their case, they're facing competition from both, established companies and up-and-coming startups.
So it's a pretty crowded field.
It is.
But ClearSecure does have some advantages, right?
Oh, yeah.
They've got a strong brand,
Mm-hmm.
a proven track record,
Yeah, in the airport security market.
and a technology platform.
That's both secure and user-friendly.
So those are definitely some important different differentiators.
They are.
But as with any investment, there are always risks to consider.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The competitive landscape could shift quickly.
Yeah.
New technologies could emerge,
Right.
disrupt the market.
Yeah.
They could face regulatory hurdles as they expand into new areas.
Yeah. So investors need to stay informed
Absolutely.
and be prepared for the unexpected. There's no guarantee that there'll be a winner in the long run.
There's no guarantees in this game.
No. All right. So as we wrap up our discussion about ClearSecure, ticker symbol YOU, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
The key takeaway I would say is this. ClearSecure is a company with a compelling story and a lot of potential. They're operating in a high-growth market with strong tailwinds,
Mm-hmm.
but they're also facing intense competition, and their future success is far from guaranteed.
So high risk, high reward.
Pretty much.
Not for the faint of heart.
If you're considering investing in ClearSecure, you got to do your research.
Yeah.
Understand the risks involved and make sure it aligns with your overall investment goals and risk tolerance.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for joining us today on the Investing Talk podcast.
My pleasure.
We hope you found this episode informative and insightful. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with anyone who might be interested in learning more about ClearSecure. Until next time, happy investing.